Alright, it's Modog here again. I just got done at the gym, did a fucking 70-minute on the elliptical, kill that shit. And before that, I wanted to go do a second interview for a promotion at my security job. Really hope I get that. And as you can see by the title, I got a few things I want to talk about. Nationals are killing it. St. Louis again. The Cardinals. I mean, it's the third game they're going to win today. They're already up 7-0. They're pretty much going to take the NCLS championship, whatever you want to call it. I just should call it the conference championship like every other sport. Congratulations to the Nationals on that. I mean, 3 games, there's no way they're going to lose the next 4. Referees helping out the Packers big time. Lions are up 13-0, and referees doing whatever they can to help the Packers get that first touchdown. I guess they wanted to make sure this was a Monday night game because you know they don't want to be fair. And now the main thing I want to talk about, what's going on all over Facebook and Instagram, and I didn't realize this shit until I got like 1,000 things popping up on my page about people tagging me and shit. The NFL trying to pawn off the charges to St. Louis to make up for the Rams leaving and breaking their contract to LA. A lot of people are going to be pissed if the Rams move to St. Louis. I mean, the Chargers are a West Coast team. St. Louis Chargers, that's not going to sound right. That's going to piss a lot of people off. And at the same time, you're not really showing support right now in LA. I mean, you're already losing support in San Diego, which, you know, Dean Spanos is the main reason why. But you're losing 100% support, 100% any support in LA. You got barely anything. So, what's up, Stanky? This doesn't make any sense about moving them to St. Louis. You really need to move them back to San Diego, to be honest. They really need to go back to San Diego. I mean, it's too late to take up the Nevada spot. I mean, at least in Nevada, they're still in the West Coast. Las Vegas is not that far. You know how many times I've been to Las Vegas when I used to be to California? Las Vegas was my second home. When I used to live in Victorville, it's only a 2.5-hour drive. And then when I moved down to San Diego, 5-hour drive. Still a lot closer than San Francisco. But St. Louis, I don't see us building a fan base in St. Louis. St. Louis, the Rams couldn't build a fan base in St. Louis. When the Rams left LA, the LA Rams said, fuck this team anyway. They don't do nothing. They're about nothing. We're going to go jump on the Broncos bandwagon and the Cowboys bandwagon and the 49ers bandwagon and the Steelers bandwagon because they're going to Super Bowls all the time. That's what LA fans do. California probably got the biggest bandwagon colony in the United States. No joke. I don't see the Chargers building a fan base in St. Louis. I don't see it being a good idea. The Rams, probably a more popular team now than the Chargers, but the Rams couldn't do it. Kansas City Chiefs were the team in Missouri, not the Rams. And if you move the Chargers there, you might have to move some teams around the divisions, and maybe the Chargers not in the AFC West no more. The Chargers can't be in any other division. They're not going to be any rivals. It's always been Chargers and the Broncos, Chargers and the Raiders, and Chargers and the Chiefs. That's the divisional rivals. That's been the rivals forever. Sure, we had Seattle Seahawks in our division for like 5 or 10 years or whatever. But, you know, they never really considered our rival. They weren't back then when they first came in. They were just like the 5th wheel, and they got like 1 division championship being in our division. And they're not going to ever considered our division the rival. But the Rams going to St. Louis, Chargers going to St. Louis, you might as well take the Chargers into St. Louis, rebrand them, and be done with this franchise forever if you take them to St. Louis. You think any a Chargers fan base is going to show up there? Think 1 out of 10 of us showing up right now. Seriously. These people who are Chargers fans grew up Charger fans, grew up in California. And yes, you got that handful that like to travel to every single game, and I met quite a few when I met them at the Chargers Saints preseason game, and I met them again at the Chargers Lions game. And you got that handful, the diehards. But how many of those diehards are still going to be diehards if they go to St. Louis? They're not going to go there and travel there 8 home games a season and then travel to the other stadiums. You're going to kill off the fan base. There would be no more home team game for Chargers. There would be no fans. They really won't. You think the fan base is bad now in LA? It's going to be a lot worse in St. Louis. You should have moved them to Vegas. That's what you should have did. Because it's still right there next to California. We pretty much call it California anyway, Vegas. It's like the end of California pretty much. And we would have taken over there. We would have been a lot better spot because Vegas is a prime spot to build a fan base. St. Louis is not a prime spot. And I really hope this is just rumors. Because if the NFL is really trying to do that, which I don't see Dan spending a relocation money again, so the NFL is going to have to do it for free. If they're really trying to do that, they're going to say goodbye to Charger fans. The St. Louis Chargers, exactly, they're not. That doesn't sound right. It's never going to sound right. I don't know what's going on. I really hope that's just some stupid-ass Rams fans or Raiders fans just doing some stupid-ass rumor shit. But the fact is, I'm seeing NFL pages, the people who make their reporting, pop that shit up. And a lot of Charger fans are popping that shit up all over Instagram and all over Facebook on all these Charger groups I have. So I'm not liking that at all. I was just saying we should boycott the StubHub because of them playing the Steelers anthem yesterday. And then today, let's move to St. Louis. I'm telling you, this team has problems and it's all Dean. When it's all said and done, it's all Dean. Yeah, exactly. St. Louis doesn't care about football. They're not a football town. LA's more of a football town, and LA's not a football town. LA was never a football town. If they were a football town, they would have kept the Rams and the Raiders. But the Rams and the Raiders were also having blackout games back in the early 90s. But yeah, pretty much that's my rant. Hell no to the Chargers being in St. Louis. I mean, if they do go and it's still the Chargers, I'm always going to be a fan as long as it's the Chargers. I really wish the referees would stop screwing the Lions to try to make this a game and let them play football for freaking once. And congratulations to the Nationals because you guys are killing the Cardinals. This is game 3 and you guys are going to win game 3. There's only one more game to go. Modog out. I'll see you guys next time. Chargers, Titans. I want to say bolts up, but this is the Chargers after all. We're going to play one quarter, and then we're going to not play the other 3 quarters. I just don't know which quarter we're going to play. See you guys next time. Shout out to LA Original and Stinky55 for being on my page, under my comments. And I'll see you guys next time. That's where they need to belong.